Welcome back to the Into One for Game YouTube channel. It is me, Rob, here with Nick. Say hello, Nick.
Hey, what's up?
We are here with game 3 of our $400 4-match money match, essentially. As you can see there, I am on the right, Nick is on the left. The money that is still up for grabs in the middle, and you can see we each have claimed $100 apiece so far. First two matches was a healing Stonejourner deck played by Nick, and I was playing Aeropod. Second match being a more aggressive Stonejourner deck by Nick, and I was playing ADPZ. So this match here, I will be going first, and it is Inteleon versus Baby Blounds. So I know I start the Crobat here, but once you saw it was Inteleon, Nick, what was your mindset going into this one?
It was going to be that I was going to need 7 energy for knockouts because that's the standard for VMAXs is 7 energy.
So was I mean, I've played a lot of Baby Blounds in standard now, but it seems like the biggest issue is just getting the energy out of the deck, not necessarily getting out of the discards now that we have energy retrieval.
Yeah. So we have Fiery Flint is no longer in the format, and I have in my notes to say this at least once, and that is that I got myself. I'm checking my notes. There's a specific way that I was supposed to phrase it. Now I've messed it up. Oh yeah, my note says, "What is Energy Spinner?" Answer: It's a poor man's Fiery Flint, and that's
Exactly.
if you go second.
So you are luckily going second, and I drew pass essentially. So I remember my starting hand on here was absolutely garbage.
And
So
so I've got the worst possible start to go for a turn 1 donk because I have to retreat the Cramorant and I can't scoop up net it. So I have to get a switch and then get a baby Blacephalon powered up with 3 energy, and then I need 4 energy in hand to get the turn 1 donk. So that's what I'm going for at this point. And I feel like you've made it easy for me, but we'll see what happens.
oh yeah, so I remember in my hand, I believe it was. I know I had 2 out of my 3 Intellion VMAXs in my hand, as well as I think it was 3 Professor's Researches
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember your hand
and a
being
Frostmoth,
pretty weird.
and I think there's a Frostmoth in there too. So it was, yeah, my opening hand was garbage, but at the same time, I had to play the research. But I mean, you'll see you in these upcoming turns. So yeah, you were just going hyper aggressive right now. I mean, anytime you see your opponent draw a pass, it's like you just smell the blood in the water.
So there we go. The Dead A change. Just and I get rid of the Beast Bringer, which is helpful, but not in this match. And I do have 1 energy spinner in hand, and I go ahead and thin out my deck. 3 energy.
And then probably switch into Jirachi and Stellar Wish, I think. Or you might even just beat catch and say screw it.
Yeah. Oh man, how many beat catches do I do this whole best of 3? I'm not gonna say because I want our listeners to watch the whole video.
They're not just going to fast forward to the end and see who became $100 richer.
Yeah, you do because we are showing the money move across the table. If you're looking at the bottom of the screen, we're 1-1 here, and this is match 3.
So as much as I wanted to believe that, hey, I'm a water deck, I'm winning as a fire deck, this should be easy. And it is nice that Inteleon VMAX can one-shot Blacephalon for the 1 energy. I don't need to go to the full max bullet, but max bullet is just so much better of an attack. I did not feel 100%, especially with my start, but aside from that, I did not feel 100% comfortable with this matchup because this is the type of thing that Baby Blounds loves is big VMAXs.
So there, I was deliberating between the welder and the fire crystal, just because I wasn't sure that I was at this point I was pretty unsure about whether I would get the turn 1 attack off. So I'm like, I'll just get the welder. I did settle on the welder because at this point I've still got a chance doing some serious damage to Crobat. Yeah, the weakness though, weakness. If you can get KOs every turn, then being weak to an opponent's deck is not a concern.
Yeah. So netted up going to the. I don't know. I think I'd rather seen you net into the Cramorant and then just beat catch.
And if the game is going to last longer than a turn, yeah, you do want to be prepared for the game going longer than a turn, and beat catch would do that. You do have some cards in your list, and we've got a link to the list in the video description, so our users can tag along. But you do have ways to disrupt my hand in your deck.
Yeah, it was a forum Marnie said I'm a huge fan of playing consistency, so I don't like a lot of low numbers of cards at all. I think the only tech item that I really had in here was just the Mimikyu that prevents abilities on damaged Pokemon, and that was, of course, specifically just for the Mewtwo matchup. In case you would have brought a Mewtwo deck.
So I go for the attach to Cramorant, but I also see I'm not getting a KO, so I'm like, yeah, well, I'll just stick 2 on there. Maybe do beat catch later. Maybe do an attack later, and then I end turn. So I discarded my Beast Ring, or not my Beast Ring, my Beast Bringer. Hey, if anyone watching actually knows what Beast Bringer is, please tell me. Oh, there's the busted hand. Oh.
There's a boss at training court, 2 researches, 2 Inteleon, 3 total researches, and 2 Intellion VMAXs. So I have 1 Intellion VMAX for the whole game.
So you can crop out however much of this frame you want to in post, but the audience will probably see me jump out of my chair as you drop that hand, and I am still getting a laugh watching myself, days later.
Although this was my first time actually playing Inteleon, and it was a lot of fun actually. I see why a lot of people enjoy it. So now,
I think it's a good meta call. There's not a lot of Mew Unbroken Bonds, and you've got bench damage, and you can win on bench damage, especially with a deck like mine. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say is I think in the whole first game too. My only focus was just essentially manually attaching and setting up an Inteleon, which feels horrible. Turn 2, not even finding a Snom, no quick ball, and no nothing.
I'm checking that very odd discard pile you have there. Like I still can't believe it.
Essentially, just research, play bucket, bench Inteleon, attach pass. It's not productive at all.
So there we go. There's the giant hearth, and I'm not looking at your list right now. Did you have Chaotic Swell in your deck?
No, I had 2 training courts.
Ah, that's right.
There's 2 training courts. So I'm looking back at the match too. I think maybe with the hand you had, just I don't know. What was your mindset putting the 2 energy on the Cramorant? Like, were you just hoping for a Dedenne knockout later on, or like what was the game plan there?
It was so that I could beak catch either that turn or in a future turn, because I was weldering and I hadn't drawn my cards yet because I was still weldering. So I could have drawn a switch and then sent up my Cramorant and then done a beak catch. And then I attached the last energy. My normal energy attachment for the turn was onto Baby Blacephalon, just so I could set up an attack with that in the future as well.
I figured you would have had the 2 on the Baby Blacephalon and the 1 on the Cramorant.
That probably would have been the way to go.
I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but you got the welder and you got tons of energy in your hand looking at fire crystals and such. I don't know how much is in your discard there right now. There's your switch option. Another retrieval.
So yeah, at this point, I'm not looking exactly at a Crobat KO. So I'm just weighing out my options, seeing what resources I have to do as much damage as I can, or you know, or just get a KO in a future turn. I spinner for 1 fire, so I've got 2 fire in hand now.
And two retrievals and a crystal. So late game, you have a great hand. Is Kramer at 1 retreat or 2 retreat?
It's 1 retreat.
Mm-hmm. I feel like with that net in your hand too, like you scoop up the Jirachi, manually retreat the Cramorant to throw another one in the discard, and you would have had another one in hand, and that would have gave you enough to take the knockout. Definitely. I think that's what you might be doing.
Oh yeah, that is what I did.
Okay.
Wow, I thought you were a lot smarter than me for a second, but that is what I did.
I couldn't remember that thing. See? I mean, granted, we played this game. You think we'd remember, but we really don't. This was a week and a half ago.
For those who didn't miss the antics in match 2, we did not remember, but we noticed a stellar wish into a triple acceleration energy. So yes, it's very fun to see what happens when you have a camera.
That was game 1.
Oh, that's right.
We had a lot of distractions there, though. So
we did.
Get my second energy attachment balloon. Like I said, you can just see like how I'm playing too. It just feels like crap. The Marnie, just hopefully you get a dead hand, but Hearth's out, so it's like I need training court, and then even if I get a training court though, you still get access to your discard then. But you can see the evolution incense. So at that point, I was just really because I haven't done, I did a deck search with the bucket, but I was kind of just ugh. So right now, just get my VMAX, and like I said, the nice thing is I can one shot you for just the 1 energy, giving me the option to also put an energy back in your hand, which with Blacephalon, I'm never going to do that.
That's funny.
So yeah, that was my only Inteleon VMAX left right there.
It's funny, yeah. So obviously we're gonna have all 8 deck lists for this entire series up, so our listeners can see them. But yeah, each one of us threw one of cards or tech cards that had no relevance in the matchup.
Well, I mean, we had to play for all types of decks, so
exactly. So I'm feeling good.
Yeah, it was crazy too. I was actually feeling pretty good here too, because I just marnied you. You had no Blacephalon down, but I look at your hand right now, and geez, Nick.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, I did lose a Blacephalon, but I do have the welders to attach. I've got 2 welders in hand, and then I've got Fiery Crystal to get the energy and potentially get something off of the Stellar Wish.
I literally marnied you into like everything you'd want. You're only 2 welders left.
Yep. And the deck is running Pal Pad, which a lot of times I don't even need the Pal Pad. I could just get by on 4 welder, especially if I'm knocking out 2 VMAXs or a VMAX and a GX, and then 1 more Pokemon for all 6 prizes. There we go. Get the energy out with Fire Crystal, and you do an energy check just to say, oh my gosh.
Is in this situation you need essentially 10, 3 to attach, 7 for the KO. Which I think at this point you only had 7 on the discard.
So we don't have any Inteleon VMAX championship points or premier events data, just because of the events suspended. But Baby Blacephalon's a beast. At the last event in Malmo, Sweden, March 7th, Baby Blacephalon earned 320 championships points total. And at the regionals in Melbourne, Australia on February 21st, it made 4 out of the top 64 spots. This is deck is a force to be reckoned with.
I'm so excited for events to come back. It is impressive how much energy you were able to find. You only utilized the one spinner.
Yep, I used one spinner turn 1 for the full 3, and then I played a second spinner later on for just 1. And the 4 fire crystal and 3 energy retrieval is the list. So yes, definitely ways to get out of the discard pile. Listeners at home, what do you think? Oh, all right, still asleep. Listeners at home, what do you think is a cooler water deck? The one where you power up Lapras VMAX with Frostmoth? Or this one? Tell us what you think.
I tried Lapras VMAX initially. I mean, before we had Bucket and such, but I hated it. So another Bucket. I got my 3 energy, but I really need a boss at that point, and throwing away in the opening hand really sucked. But Martying your hand right there was a saving grace. as much as you did, I was surprised.
And so my strategy here is to just hope I can shuffle my deck off of a Jirachi, Stellar Wish, so I can get some of those cards back to the top of the deck, or to use the Giant Hearth to get a shuffle in and maybe get some of those cards back to the closer to the top of the deck. And you do 60 to my bench, Cramorant. And to send up Jirachi. In my hands,
That's not
total
bad.
garbage. So I've got a Dedenne GX in hand, which is a poorly printed proxy. Proxies are allowed in this match, casual match between 2 friends.
Yeah, I just didn't want to move cards around between the 4 decks. We had a lot of Pokemon to play and a lot of stress of money being on the line. So how many fire energies did you play in that list?
I had 16.
Oh, okay, so you were on the slightly higher side too.
And I've really just thought about cutting the Beastbringer and just bringing it up to 17, or throwing in a 4th energy retrieval.
With the amount of V Pokemon, I think that's a pretty good idea.
Agreed.
So here you have your attachment. You have 1 retrieval, but you're kind of forced to Dedenne it away. Even if you Stellar Wish and got a Fire Crystal here, doesn't give you enough for the knockout. But it would at least put you 1 energy away from Cramorant taking the dub.
So I get another Dedenne, and you can't Dedenne change twice in 1 turn. And I've got too much fire energy to want to let go of it. So no Dedenne change now.
Oh, you didn't that was that from this turn?
Yeah, I think.
I don't think. No,
maybe I Stellar Wished.
Yeah, this is your Stellar.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
You were debating in your Stellar Wish right now, adding everything up.
Right.
That's what I was asking, if that was your Stellar Wish.
Viewers at home, I've got 16 basic energy. Is that a good amount? Tell us in the comments. We love getting those comments.
Yeah, theme deck quality. I'm pretty sure here you just got the win.
Oh, and I only ran 1 Cramorant V. In contrast to a list that we featured earlier on this channel that had 2 Cramorant V. Is 1 Cramorant V enough? What do you think?
There,
I'm just laying out the math for you.
There you should. I was like, I got the boss right here too.
Oh gosh.
I'd have been able to boss for game. Darn.
There we go. I am just that much closer to another $100.
Yeah, it was. I think from the get go, like I tried not to get my hopes up too much. I just tried to play it out as best I could. But I mean, at the first turn that I had, never even got a Snom down. That was going to be all you, I assumed. All right, so going into game two, I definitely want to go first. Pretty sure that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, and this is like a common thing for me playing Blacephalon with the energy spinner is even if they have that intel, they know that I want to go second because I'll probably get energy spinner. A lot of decks are like, fine, I still want to go first anyway because I'm playing evolutions and I want that advantage.
Exactly. So now being down a game, and after when I lost the first game, especially the time, that game wasn't too long, but I remember just constantly thinking in my head that I had to play against the clock a little bit on this one.
Oh yeah, and you know you do concede early in a game that you're about to lose just so you can leverage the clock as much as you can. But in this game that we just played here, there was no way you could have known you were going to lose that game. You were so close the whole time.
I had everything I needed.
All right, so yep, you've elected to go first.
Remember so many times, so many times. We had. I think I let you. Yeah, no, I did let you go first because I knew about the spinner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember feeling okay about it after the first game there, where I didn't even have a Frostmoth up.
There we go. I'm like, all right, I guess this spinner isn't that valuable now. Let me just discard it for a quick ball.
So still not a bad hand at all. You got all those quick balls and you got the Dedenne.
So I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that's always one of the biggest fears of Blacephalon. I feel like in the early turns is just getting benched out.
Oh yeah, yeah, and with the deck the way I've built it, I mean, this is a problem of just not having basics early game and just losing, by getting benched out.
Is there 3 quick balls first turn, and they have the Dedenne. So you are absolutely living that Blacephalon dream. So is that you grabbed Oricorio right there?
I sure did. I guess I felt that I had good material in hand and didn't really want to Dedenne at that point. But Oricorio only works if something gets knocked out.
Yeah. So it's like knowing that you play your
Oh, there we
third
go.
quick ball. I understand why you got it because you only have 1 quick ball left. So it's being a one of. It's hard for you to search.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like if I'm not knocking you out anytime soon, I don't know.
Yeah, and this is a problem I've had a few times practicing with this deck, is bringing out the Oricorio on a turn that is not directly after one of my Pokemon gets knocked out. And yeah, sometimes it'll be, oh, hey, my opponent will look at it and say, hey, there's a free 2 prizes for me. Let me knock that thing out first.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I have very instant regret for the Oricorio. And there we go. I end turn. And that's my first turn. Let's see what you pull off. And you get a supporter.
Right. And much more manageable first turn. Not throwing away a ton of resources. So Marty'd you out of the nuts again with your welder and your crystals and your switch. So as Inteleon in this matchup can take it relatively slow.
Hey, I don't know if you're grinding for the Players Cup too. Is that something you're interested in at all?
No, I don't have enough for the online stuff to really go at it. I didn't sign
Gotcha.
up for it, so I don't have the keys.
Oh, you don't have you're not opted into championship points?
Oh, I am. Oh, it does it automatically?
Yeah, if you're opted in championship points, then you're in. You have 50 keys on your PCGO right now.
I might check it out. So, got my Snom, quick ball, get a Crobat. I'm gonna start building upon this hand. Much better, much better this time. So use the bat for 5. And we
So
passed.
the problem you're at here is just the plain old Inteleon V attack. It does 20 damage, and
It does 40.
does 40, and that's
40 snipe.
including weakness. Yeah. Okay.
It's the 40 snipe, so I wouldn't get the weakness on the bench. It doesn't really do anything pingable Cephalon. And then and I didn't really swing into either of the Jirachis because I know you play net. And just I don't want to attach to the active and possibly lose that energy.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I had everything in hand for Frost Moth and energies to start swinging on the next turn. So I wasn't willing to give that active up.
Right. Right.
If I was gonna knock out the Drachi, I definitely would have, because after Marning you, that's one less Stellar Wish. This man and his energy spinner.
There we go. Yawn. Plain old boring one energy spinner. Very rarely have I won a game on an energy spinner. Usually, when I get the game-winning energy in hand for my final Fireball Circus attack, it's usually off of a Fire Crystal or an energy retrieval. But early game, it's fire.
Pun intended. You see, second Jirachi. So my game plan with this in this match here was kill your 2 prizers as well as the Blacephalon and a Jirachi. So I was really hoping for the 60 bench snipe to get one of my Zigzagoons to finish that off to just prevent you from, netting it up. Always got to double check and see how many energy and how many those resources you're using. Here comes the beat catch.
See, I'm laughing at this point because I don't think that I'm ever gonna do a beat catch the whole game, but I'm just uncomfortable enough with my hand. So I get the I'm uncomfortable enough with my hand. I'm like, yeah, I'll go for it. I'll set up for a future knockout. Like I want to either one hit KO, my opponent's Pokemon, or not, do any damage at all. So my 2 cards from Beat Catch are Giant Hearth and Welder. And Rob, you guessed it at the time, and you were exactly right. It's an easy guess.
Yeah, and you were just constantly saying about Marnieing you, and I was like, no, I don't have the Marnie, but I do have the Dedenne, and that gets me into Marnie. So as soon as I played that first Pokecom, the first thing you were saying was, at least it's not a Marnie. That's not a Marnie. So get the 2 VMAXs up, and I think a lot of people would just say, why not get like Frostmoth? And with the turn that you just had, one already had it, but I was just focused on now just getting like single energies. Now is good. Those 60 snipes the 60s are really good, because it's gonna get me, now that you have 3 2 prizers up. That's a great way for me to win this game.
Oh yeah, the board state is good for you. I mean, we're 6 and 6 on prizes. I've gone at least 2 turns without knocking anything out. We're 6 and 6 on prizes, and the board state I provided with you is wonderful.
Yes,
and you've got the know-how and the material to make use of it.
So, and there's the Marnie.
Oh no. And I flip my hands up in disappointment. And I show you what I beat
Yeah,
catched, which you're like, yeah, Nick, I knew
yeah.
that.
You couldn't find energy, and you never weldered. You grabbed a hearth and a welder. But at this point, too, I'm wondering where are my air balloons, especially. So get the 3 energy down. They're finally found one of my air balloons. I play 3 of them. So,
And boom, there's the big beefy VMAX with 3 energy.
yeah.
And the bucket.
So we're all set up energy wise now. So the next thing I'm focused on is now getting the Frostmoth out of play, because I don't want you to be able to snipe it or basically go a route where you only have to kill, where you can kill a 1 prizer and win the game.
Yeah, I do have some options with the Cramorant for sure.
But yeah, I think here all I do is I just bench hit the Oricorio. Yep. Because my next game plan now is to boss the Oricorio and kill that and the Cramorant at the same time, so you don't get the benefit of Oricorio, and just, it takes me down to two prizes.
Yeah, and keep in mind that at this point in the game, you still haven't knocked anything out.
Yep.
I have 0 benefit off of the Oricorio so far. So, yeah, maybe benching that Oricorio earlier was a premature decision. So there we go. I do get my giant hearth in play, and I do get my 2 energy.
I didn't see a welder though.
No, I don't think I have welder in hand at this point. Nope.
No, you do not.
And there we go. And so I've got scoop up net in hand. So I've retreated, and then I can Stellar Wish and then scoop up Jirachi, if I've got something. And wow, that's a good Stellar Wish. 2 Fire Crystal, 1 Great Catcher.
And do you go back? Okay, yeah, I remember you Great Catcher up the mouse, and it's easy to get out of the active. I believe that my 1 card hand is a research. I mean, you got more than enough retrievals, so yeah.
Oh yeah. So there we go. And I see. I'm still my strategy, my mindset here is I either want to 1-hit KO stuff or no KOs at all. So I bring up the Dedenne so I can just stall the game a little bit longer, and I go for a second beat catch, and I shake my hands again in disappointment. You've got the clap there. We're just both having a great old time. Like, Nick, why would you ever beat catch twice in one game? What deck are you playing?
Although there was so much of me that just wanted to flip that 1 card over and it be a Marnie. So I top deck the water energy. And I play the research. But his point is like, that's not a Marnie though.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm keeping this hand. Although, like I said, so now the game plan changes for me, where if I can't take the double KO with the Oricorio and the Cramorant, now I'm just gonna ping Oricorio again for 60, because then I can at least boss Dedenne and then finish the Oricorio with a 60 snipe. So you see me get Frostmoth out of play.
Yeah, man, that is dope.
Don't
that
need
net
it anymore.
is only supposed to be for Galarian Zigzagoon and Jirachi, but you're getting all creative here.
It's a liability with its 2 retreat cost, as well as being a single prizer. I'm gonna make you earn it. Although math wise, it changes a little bit. Like if you wanted to kill Crobat, Dedenne, and Intelion VMAX for game, it would cost you 1 additional energy compared to just taking out 2 VMAXs.
That is that is unfortunate.
So there, see me ping. No,
And sometimes being one energy short, it is the difference
oh yeah,
between a win and a loss with Baby Blicephalon.
yeah. But I absolutely hate now that you beat catched, kept the cards, and you're gonna have Oricorio, Jirachi, but you don't have a switch right now. But it's not hard for you to move around.
Oh yeah, I still have switch options left.
I'm getting hyped. I forget what we were getting hyped about.
Oh yeah. There is lots and lots of audience audio of us talking, as it was being recorded, and oh man, and look at that. I'm so like
You
I have
wanted a
so many
welder
welder.
so bad. Yeah, you wanted a welder so bad. Now you're hurting him away.
Oh, and I'm mixing things up. I
Yeah.
meant to do Giant Hearth first, so I'm doing Giant Hearth first, and then I'm gonna Stellar Wish. Yeah, what I was saying about so there's audience audio, that the camera was picking up. I really feel like there's something we should do with it because it's so good, but I'd have to edit it so much. But oh my gosh, so many funny things were being said, and we had like
So
a whole bunch
much
of people watching.
profanity. So much
Ex-
profanity.
yes,
Not from us though. I mean,
no, not from us.
of course not. Okay. So you got a good, I don't know how much energy is in your discard, but looking at that hand, it would seem like you have access to a lot of energy.
So I've lost the Cramorant, which had energy on it. I know I discarded energy off of retreating a Cramorant.
So here I disagree because you're going to play Welder no matter what. So you might as well dance a tribute, you Welder on the 2 energy, and then you Stellar Wish because that's looking even deeper. No matter what, you're Weldering this turn.
Yeah, and Blacephalon, it forces you to make certain sequencing choices. I mean, if there are 3 or 4 different actions you can take to get cards out of your deck, whether that's drawing or searching, yeah, it does force you to think like that. And sometimes I do make the wrong choice. And there we go.
Well,
There's the welder.
The hand you're building up right now doesn't seem to be that bad.
So yeah, I've got a great hand. Now here, the thing is, you still have a lovely board state, and you're ahead on prizes.
Yeah.
So I'm a little scared at this moment, but I do have a good hand, and I am almost certainly going to do damage this turn. So I counted my fire crystals, I counted my energy in discard, energy in hand, just to make sure that I had it.
I felt like it was a mistake for me to bring up my Intellion VMAX that had the air balloon on it. I feel like I should have brought the other one up. But, I mean.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I guess minor mistake there. Look at all that energy. There's a 7. And where's all your retrieval options?
Yep. 2 crystal.
Yeah, you
and a retrieval.
Yeah, you have to burn the 2 crystal and the retrieval.
Boom, there's 3. And I'm counting slowly, one by one. And I guess at this point, I'm like deciding whether I actually need the fire crystal or I need, or energy retrieval will work. And I go with the crystal.
You had the 1 energy in your hand, so yeah, you just need the 2 crystals. After the slow start, getting a 1 shot on the VMAX has to feel at least decent, but it does suck knowing now that you have to rebuild.
I'm counting. And Fireball Circus for 350.
Then here are the boss, and then that takes care of the mouse and the Oricorio. And there you thought it was much less to the bench, or only like much less to the active.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For the audience, I don't actually think Rob is cheating. I
Yeah,
just have to check the numbers.
Nick likes to stay on top of every single card.
Yes.
Because the first thing you said is I thought it was one. I thought it was like 120 or 130, and then you're like, well, which one does 130, 120? And like, oh, that's the V. So here we are going on to game three.
If you watch any of our matches featuring Zach as a player, you won't have those end of game scenarios because Zach already knows the math for everything well in advance.
Oh yes,
I don't have that skill.
and yet you play spread. You love spread damage.
Oh yeah, but see, I'm okay with that because that's like you deliberately go in with that focus of having to anticipate damage in future turns and having to keep track of current damage. So that's okay because I go into it knowing that that's something I have to do the whole time.
Yeah. And nothing I found more fun is going to a regionals and then counting up magical swap. Just to go into your turn and be like, that's dead, that's dead, that's dead, and put 70 there. And then your opponent just looks
Yes.
at you crazy. So I'm pretty sure if I were to guess, you're going to let me go first here.
Yeah. I want that juicy energy spinner and mulligan. And what do you know? I get Cramorant in hand again.
I mean, you got more than enough energy in hand, that's for sure. But you definitely would like to thin more out of the deck. I'm throwing you a bone here. I'm giving you a free card.
Yes. So just like our friend Aerodactyl from Game 1, Blacephalon is 5'11", but it weighs, interestingly enough, only 27.8 pounds. So I'll have to ask about Blacephalon's diet and how many sit-ups it does.
I mean, it doesn't have abs, so it's just probably has an eating disorder. I don't know.
It's a circle, it's a sphere with a like a stick attached to it. So yes, that could explain the weight a little bit.
So two mulligans in. Nick's going second. Definitely not feeling good about this one already.
No, and I mean, both of us are already thinking about clock management
Absolutely.
before this point. I mean, the thing is, you could definitely pull off another, slowly set up, quick series of knockouts where you set up bench damage first and then you draw 4 prizes. But I could also just draw a whole bunch of prizes very quickly with a big fireball circus and a big hand.
Yeah. I definitely wasn't mapping out prizes so much in this one here. I think my focus was just limit your hand size with Marnie as much as I could, as well as just focus on the Blacephalons, take away your attackers, make you have to burn all that energy retrieval.
Right.
So first quick ball, getting my Snom. I said, unlike the first game, hand was manageable. Although my biggest fear here was, I remember we talked about this, was with you starting Cramorant as bad as it seems like to you, you're just a welder attachment away from knocking out my Snom. So my goal here was to get a second Snom down.
Oh yeah, man. I was salivating early game, thinking if I could just get the cheap and dirty KO on this Snom, and just not even have to worry about playing fast, just preventing you from setting up. That was definitely in the back of my head.
Yeah, so see, I get down the second Snom. I was okay with you. Like, yes, I want to get a Frost Moth up, but I honest to God was okay with you knocking, if you were to knock out a Snom, because that's 3 energy that instantly gets discarded. So again, to get some of the bigger Pokemon, if I could force you into just the VMAX game, you had to then get all that energy back out of the discard. Which, ooh, look at that. And you got the spinner. That's a day dene too. You do not want to use, I bet.
Oh, and
I what was that?
Omar is asking me a question. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's Evan asking me what the thumbnail for this video we're recording right now should be.
It's amazing we got through this even as well as we did with all the distractions we had around us.
Oh yeah, and again, oh man, if there were a good and easy way to put the audience audio in here, I would seriously consider doing it. A lot of funny things were said by the Peanut Gallery. Here we go. I quick ball for the Jirachi, and your watch slips off. Get a better watch, Rob.
I didn't slip off. I just had to loosen it. So getting Jirachi, was that more like a anticipation for the late game, or you just you're extremely focused on getting that Cramorant?
Yeah. The Jirachi. That's just what I'm thinking here is I know I'm not getting out Blacephalon this turn because I've already done my normal attachment to Cramorant.
Yeah, that's how we knew you were really going for it. He's playing. He's putting down the rat. He's going for it. And he's like, I'm not even using the spinner.
And I think this was more of a clock management thing where I wanted to draw some prizes real quick because the timer was going to run out and I wanted to be ahead on prizes. But so I don't get another spinner in the hand, and I'm running 3 energy spinner in deck, and unfortunately, I don't get one of my other 2 energy spinners off that Dead Eye change. And I'm debating a switch there.
Exactly. You knew you're playing welder. Might as well hold it.
And there we go. Yeah. There's an energy spinner.
Probably play and then bench the Blacephalon.
I think so.
Because you have all the switching options. All you need is the welder, which, if I take this knockout, you can just promote Jirachi and possibly get it off a Stellar Wish.
Right. Yep, there we go. I play those baby Blacephalons, just so I'll have it on the bench. Even if I don't need it right now, you could always Marty me and make my baby Blacephalon go away. And I spit shot the Snom, even though you've got a backup. I'm hoping that you can't evolve the other Snom.
Even if it becomes a Frost mod, if you really wanted to snipe it, you could.
Right.
And that
so I had the option to switch into Jirachi, Stellar Wish, and then scoop up net, but I decided to save the scoop up net for later.
So attach active and throw away the water energy in the bucket. Not really sure why I went that way and not the bench Inteleon. To get my Frostmoth. And now it's just a mad dash for energy, especially since you have the Cramorant. There's a Zigzagoon.
Inteleon players at home, how much luck are you having getting out the second turn Frostmoth? I feel like I can never get it out turn 2.
I haven't even seen you play Inteleon yet.
I was just speaking about myself in the hypothetical.
So let's see. I can't remember what I'm debating here. Okay, quick ball. All those Pokecoms. Think get Dedenne here. Another bat. Oh, okay. Because if I'm not sure, but I think the card left in my hand was either a switch option or a bucket.
So the great thing about the bat is it doesn't get knocked out by spit shot.
Yes.
And I'm not running any Galarian Zigzagoon, so it's almost zero chance of getting KO'd.
And that's also why, yeah, because I didn't play.
Oh.
Yeah, so I put the rat down just because the last card I had was research. So here, like I said, I'm just digging for tons of energy, switch options. I was definitely trying to not put down the Dedenne. Also, not being able to evolve the bench Inteleon was kind of a bummer. So yeah, we're just gonna hit you for 60.
And the alarm goes off.
Yeah. So now we're at time. Again, again, right as I attack.
Yes. So yep, I'm up. I'm up one prize. I'm turn one, and then you're gonna get a turn two, and then I'm gonna get a turn three. We're doing this just like a single elimination match.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure here your plan was just go for Dedenne.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got to go big. This either this turn or maybe it was the turn. It was my turn three. It was really big. Like I was digging a lot, and we can take our time here since the clock isn't running anymore.
Yeah. Well, you already see you have the welder and 3 energy. As well as the scoop up net. So you already knew you were taking 2 prizes.
Oh yeah.
So when you knew that you were going to go down to 3 prizes, I was at 6 and I only had 1 turn. Did you think there was what was your mindset? Like you basically had it wrapped.
Well, I was thinking that I'm bad at math, and maybe you've got some big brain move you can do where you can knock out 2 Pokemon at once.
Well, luckily we sniped the bench, right?
Yeah.
There's the hearth. It's funny, you can really see like the pace just slow down with the thought process with here. Beastbringer's completely useless.
Do you still have water energy in your deck at this point in the game?
Do I have any?
In still in deck.
Oh yeah, I still had plenty because all I threw away was 1 water and a bucket. So I still had access, and I can't remember how many I prized, if any. So at least I had access to about say 5 or 6. No, not 5 or 6. I'd say 4.
Look how busted that is. I have 2 Fire Crystal in hand and a Welder and energy to spare. But I think I'm just going to play it easy and, yep, the Dedenne.
Yep.
And so this is turn 2.
Yep.
And you've got to draw 3 prizes and hope that I don't draw any more on the final turn of the game.
So here I'm just basically playing down the hand. We're pinging the draw. Like, don't know why you put the Drachi back down, and then Mar needs you out of the God hand. So all I needed at this point was just the water energy.
Yeah, the Jirachi was just in case you marnied me, or you knocked out the Cramorant and you marnied me, I'd have something that I could use to dig for resources.
So here I get my water. So voila. Let's see. I'm going to be taking my 3 prizes. That's still making this a competitive game. This was by far our most competitive game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I enjoyed um, all of our games except for the ADP one. For reasons that are obvious to anyone who's hashtag pro hashtag ban ADP.
Yep. Hashtag ban ADP. So what would you get into the Marnie? So it's not horrible. You at least know you have the welder and such.
Yep. So got the net, a giant hearth, which I don't need, energy, welder, and a Jirachi.
Yeah.
And yes. Now in hindsight, playing that Jirachi to the bench was a mistake because you zigzagooned it and then you knocked it out with bench damage.
Yeah. This
Which
game.
means that I had to, instead of pass turn to win, we're tied on prizes, so I couldn't just pass turn. I did have to get a knockout. And
Yep.
this is the big turn. This is where I really, really, really have to dig because I need 7 energy for a knockout.
You need 10 because you have to also have to welder.
Yes. And there we go. I'm gesturing with my hands how ridiculous this is.
It's like when you're going against Baby Blacephalon and you see no energy at all on board and you just Marnie them. It feels so good.
I do get the giant hearth to search and then shuffle, possibly bring some of those busted cards back to the closer to the top of my deck. And I tell you, I had 2 fire crystal in hand that you just marnied away.
I saw that. The writing would have been on the
Yeah,
wall there.
I'm just showing you what you marnied away.
Like how we haven't even mentioned how the slowpoke sleeves.
Oh yeah, I use art backed sleeves in every match. I don't know if you use art backed sleeves in match 4. Do you?
Nope, I only use katanas.
Ah, katanas.
So you got your 3 energies that you need to attach. Now you just need to get the rest of them essentially.
Oh, and you see that I have not used Oricorio this game, um, and it's because it is prized.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that too, and I was like, oh, I thought he did better too. Okay, so I married him. He's not even getting Oricorio out of this. Like, busted. So there's your 2. So you got your quick ball.
Okay, and so I would quick ball for an Oricorio if I had one. And
But
since you're editing this video, you have to put in the "if I had one" meme right here in the video. I command it.
well, you are insane enough though to play 2 Dedenne though.
Yeah. So here we go. I'm not going for Oricorio. I am going aggressive here. I push the Dedenne to the front of the pile, and I'm telling myself, Nick, are you really doing this? Are you really going for it? In football terms, this is a 4th down and 3, and you don't punt or field goal. You go for it. That's me.
Yeah, so you have 3 fire crystals in deck. One's in your hand, so you're gonna end up Dedenneing that away.
Exactly, and I feel so bad about it.
So essentially, off of a 6-card hand, you need like an energy retrievals as well. There's like you need about 2, 3 cards off of 6.
I mean, at this point, if we were going to allow ties, this is turn 3. If we were going to allow ties, yeah, maybe maybe I would be comfortable being like, all right, well, we'll just allow ties, but
Yeah, scared money don't make money.
So I've got to get a prize this turn, and there we go with the attachment, and put down the Jirachi.
See, that's. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, because if the Bucephalon lives and we go into extra, it's just a simple one shot.
Yeah, and there we go, the hard decision. And the audience is they are just livid that I discarded a fire crystal.
But of course, this man gets in all the energy he needs. That is a $100 Dedenne, folks.
You are right. It sure is. And I just show him the 8 energy just to make sure I have it, but you shake my hand anyway.
That was the most painful match. Watching it again just hurts my soul. I'm never playing Baby Browns again. It wasn't even me playing it, I'm never playing it again.
I think my lessons learned here is if your opponent has Galarian Zigzagoon and an attack that does 60, don't play the Jirachi to your bench without necessity. Also, count damage for future turns, especially if they can Boss's Order and one-hit KO something they softened up with a 60 bench damage. That's what I've learned. Any lessons learned for you?
Never play Inteleon and think you're going to beat Bucephalon.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well,
I think we'll close this out.
Yeah.
This video is part of a playlist. This is a money match series. We did 4 matches just like this, where we play for $100 each. The next, so match 4 is coming up soon. So check it out.
Yep. What's next number 4 going to be? You're just going to have to check it out and find out, and let's see if I can break even or if Nick's essentially going to take $100 from me. So, guys, until next time.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, that is also important. Yeah.
And follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, I guess that too. Well,
Ariados.
goodbye.
Goodbye.